Many individuals over 60 find themselves at risk because of their inability to manage their own finances. These risks include food insecurity, homelessness, and financial abuse. Today, we have Carrie Haskell, Statewide Coordinator of the Massachusetts Money Management Program, presenting us with an overview of the MMP to help and provide resources to prevent financial exploitation.
Hi, it's nice to be speaking with you today. I would like to thank Senator Eldridge and the conference organizers for inviting me to present today. These conferences are such a great way to share information and educate people on the resources that are available to them. My name is Carrie Haskell, and I am the Statewide Coordinator for the Massachusetts Money Management Program, or MMP for short. Today, I'm going to talk about the Massachusetts Money Management Program. I'm also going to talk about financial abuse. And at the end of the presentation, I'll be sharing some links and resources with you that you might find useful. First, let me tell you about the Massachusetts Money Management Program. The MMP's mission is to promote and prolong independent living for income-eligible individuals over 60 who are at risk because of their inability to manage their own finances. These risks include food insecurity, homelessness, premature institutionalization, and financial abuse. In order to achieve this mission, the Money Management Program provides money management assistance that enables people to live as independently as possible. It helps in the least intrusive way so that a person's dignity and privacy are preserved. And it provides program safeguards to protect the individual, the volunteer, and the local ASAP. The MMP is a statewide service that is free to income-eligible individuals over 60 who need support managing their day-to-day finances. Each local money management program is located at an Aging Services Access Point, or ASAP, and it serves those who live in the area serviced by the ASAP. The MMP has two levels of support: the Bill Payer Program and the Representative Payee Program. The Bill Payer Program is for individuals who are capable of making decisions regarding their finances. Participants in the Bill Payer Program are matched with trained and supervised volunteers who provide functional assistance on the routine tasks of money management. These tasks vary, but they can include developing a budget, balancing the checkbook, reconciling the bank statement, writing checks if necessary, and assisting program participants to identify financial scams and avoid financial fraud and exploitation. The Representative Payee Program is for those who are incapable of managing their Social Security or Supplemental Security income payments. In this program, a payee is assigned, either the ASAP or a volunteer, to manage an individual's federal benefits. By having a qualified, trained person making financial decisions, the individual is better able to maintain independence in other areas of their life. Our staff and volunteers at the MMP help in many ways. They help individuals budget their money so that they're able to pay their bills, reduce debt, and even find ways to save money. They serve as rep payees for those deemed incapable of managing their finances. And as we know, the pandemic has increased isolation and has led some to feel lonely and anxious. Meeting with a volunteer every month is a way to reduce isolation and can help people feel more connected. Our staff and volunteers also monitor accounts and educate their clients on how to avoid scams and fraud. All of our staff and volunteers are knowledgeable about available resources and can help direct individuals to those resources as needed. Since our programs are located in ASAPs, they have resources at their fingertips, and they're eager to connect people with available resources in their community. Participants in the Money Management Program can be assured that all of our volunteers are screened, trained, and insured. Our volunteer recruitment and onboarding processes are audited to ensure that our clients are always safe and can trust their volunteers. There's no one-size-fits-all for our volunteers. They are from a variety of backgrounds, and many volunteers have been with the program for over 10 years. We also have many volunteers that have been with us for over 20 years. And we have one that has been a volunteer since our inception 30 years ago. That particular volunteer works out of Bay Path in Marlborough And even after 30 years as a volunteer, he doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. In the Bill Payer program, our volunteers meet one-on-one with individuals at least once a month. During the meetings, the volunteer helps with budgeting, opening and reading mail, writing checks, balancing checkbooks, and helping to create payment plans for debt. MMP volunteers can provide varying degrees of assistance and can be an extra set of eyes to make sure everything is okay in an individual's account. Why are the services we provide so important? Many older adults live on a low fixed income, and that can be difficult to manage. Sometimes all it takes is missing a few bill payments to land someone in dire financial trouble. Many of us are lucky enough to have friends and family to turn to if we need support or assistance, but not everyone does. For some older adults, they don't have any trusted contacts that can support them, especially when it comes to their money. They may also need some support if they have recently lost the person who normally pays the bills or are experiencing a disability or memory impairment. Once this happens, it's easy to lose track of what needs to get paid and when. And it's easier to fall victim to financial abuse. If you or someone you know has lost the person who normally pays the bills, have been experiencing a disability or memory impairment, or has been the victim of financial abuse, it's important to talk to someone you trust right away to help organize the household finances before problems become way too big to manage. Our program is also important because it helps to reduce the risk of financial abuse for our clients. Although financial abuse can happen to anyone regardless of age, education, or financial status, older adults are often at higher risk for scams, fraud, and exploitation. Part of the reason is because of the perceived assets of older adults. The common statistics that most people are familiar with are that people over 50 have about 70% of the country's wealth, and that Americans between 65 and 74 have more assets than any other age group. Other reasons for increased risk include seniors being more trusting, being unfamiliar with technology or financial matters, or having a disability that makes them dependent on others for help. Some older adults may have problems with cognitive function that reduces their ability to make good decisions, especially under pressure of a scammer. And they may be less inclined to report fraud because they don't know how, or maybe they feel ashamed, or maybe they don't want to get the person in trouble. Because not all cases of financial abuse are reported and there is no one reporting mechanism, estimates about loss vary widely. Estimates of annual losses to older adults across the country due to financial abuse have ranged from $2.9 billion to $36.5 billion. And according to reports to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, the financial loss for people in Massachusetts over 60 to do all types of fraud in 2020 was over $20 million. Regardless of what the exact numbers are, financial abuse is a huge problem for older adults across America. There can be emotional damage and damage to the health and well-being of the victims and their families. Older victims of financial abuse often lose money that they have accumulated over a lifetime, and it's difficult to recover from their loss. Since many are no longer in the workforce, they don't have the resources to recoup their money. There are many forms of financial abuse, including theft, scams, fraud, and exploitation. And we'll talk about those now. One form of financial abuse is scams. The majority of scams rely on scammers convincing the victim that they are legitimate and that the victim needs to act right away. Two examples are the government agency scams and technology scams. They call or email from a legitimate-looking email or phone number. They may know some information about you that maybe they found online, or they know information about the agency they claim to be from. They will tell you that you need to do something right now or else. They might say you need to pay them or your Social Security benefits will be in jeopardy. They may say that you need to give them access to your computer or your computer is at risk. None of these types of companies will ever contact you and pressure you to send money. Grandparent scams, where scammers tell the victim that the grandchild is in trouble and needs money, are similar in that they focus on urgency. But these scams also prey on emotions. Scammers can search social media to find out about your family and if you have grandchildren. They can look at the grandchildren's social media accounts to learn more. Nowadays, it's so easy to find personal information about people online. Once the scammers have information, they may call the victim late at night when they're a bit out of sorts. They will do whatever it takes to convince the victim the call or email is legitimate. There was one case where the caller even put the grandchild on the phone and convinced the victim to go to Western Union to send money to keep the grandchild out of prison. Of course, it wasn't the actual grandchild on the phone, but the victim didn't know that, and it had the same effect. For grandparent scams and some of the other ones, scammers rely on secrecy. They may say that the grandchild doesn't want their parents to know, so please don't call them. So it's easy to fall for some of these scams. The scammers are professionals, and they know what they're doing. You should hang up on someone that is pressuring you and then call someone you trust and tell them what happened. Lottery scams claim you won a sweepstakes that you didn't enter or that you were chosen for a prize. They'll tell you that all you have to do is pay the taxes or pay the shipping charges or pay some other fee. These are all scams. Anytime a lottery or sweepstakes asks you to pay up front, it's always a scam. Home repair scams include workers showing up at your house or calling you out of the blue. They may claim they are working in the neighborhood and have leftover material they can use to work on your house. Most of these scammers use the same tactic of urgency. You can only get this special deal right now. You can only get it today, so you need to act fast. We've also seen workers approach people in their homes and they look legitimate, and they'll ask the victim to walk around the house or go to the basement with them to check out the problem. While they do this, someone else goes into the home and robs the victim. In the MMP, we see many people become victims of romance and friendship scams. They might meet people online and form what they think is a genuine relationship. The scammer may cultivate the relationship for months before asking for money. This way, it doesn't look suspicious at first. Once the scammer receives money the first time, the requests grow and they multiply. People who are isolated, lonely, or unfamiliar with social media are at higher risk for these types of scams. Other forms of financial abuse are exploitation and theft. And these include taking a person's money, property, or valuables, borrowing money and not paying it back. We see that a lot with family members. Giving away or selling a person's possessions without permission. Signing or cashing checks without the person's permission. Misusing ATM, credit cards, or debit cards without permission. And forcing someone to part with resources or to sign over property. The majority of exploitation and theft is perpetrated by someone the victim knows. According to the National Center on Elder Abuse, over 57% of financial elder abuse perpetrators were family members, and over 16% were friends and neighbors. The victim may even be aware of it, but cannot or chooses not to do anything about it. Maybe they don't want to get the person in trouble, or maybe they're afraid, or maybe they don't know what they can do. We have seen family members who tell the older victim that they will only visit them or allow the grandchildren to visit them if the grandparent gives them money. Or we've seen home helpers, they'll do the shopping for the victim and then buy things for themselves with the victim's money. Financial fraud is the fastest growing form of elder abuse, but there are steps that we all can take to help reduce the risk of it happening to us and the people we know. Some of these things include never giving personal information, including social security number or account information, to anyone that has initiated a phone call to you, unless you know and trust that person. Never pay a fee or taxes to collect sweepstakes or lottery winnings. Never rush into a financial decision. Ask for details in writing and get a second opinion. Never send money to anyone you have only communicated with online or by phone. Never respond to unsolicited requests to confirm personal information via phone, email, or even through the mail. Never open email attachments from people you don't know. This could put your computer at risk and put your personal information at risk. And never pay someone who insists you pay with a gift card or by using a money transfer service. And never deposit a check someone sends you and then send money back to them. And here are some things that you should always do. Always hang up on unsolicited phone calls. If you are concerned that you are hanging up on a legitimate call, just call the organization back that claimed they were calling you. A real-life example is a woman who received a call from her local police station. The number on the caller ID was from the police station, and the person used the name of a real officer there. They claimed that she had a violation and had to pay right away, or she would be summoned to court. The person on the phone was very pushy, and so the woman hung up and immediately called her local police department. They confirmed that the call was fake and that she did the right thing to hang up. Always be careful what you post and make public online. Scammers can use details shared on social media and dating sites to better understand and target you. Scammers are very talented when it comes to finding data. They can buy data from some companies, and they can find data on social media. A simple post about a family member traveling can be the bait a scammer uses. They can say that the family member is stuck in a foreign country and needs money. Always talk to someone you trust if you are unsure about something. Sometimes a scammer can be very convincing and it may be confusing, but before acting, it's always best to talk to someone you trust. And feel okay saying no, it's your money. I know this sounds simple, but it has to be said. No one has the right to your money but you. And always put away or lock up your checkbook, account statements, and other sensitive information when people you don't know or you don't trust will be in your home. So if a repair person or a new home care worker or other person comes to your house, take a few minutes to put away personal financial information before they enter your home. And here are a few additional tips. Don't donate to organizations that send junk mail. They're usually rated poorly, and they almost always sell your information to other organizations. If you donate once, you will start receiving more and more solicitations. If you really want to donate, choose a cause and find out how to donate to them directly. Also, understand the signs of financial abuse in others so that you can help stop it. So these signs include unusual activity in an older person's bank account, ATM withdrawals by an older person who doesn't usually use an ATM card, changing from a basic bank account to one that offers very complicated services that the person may not understand, withdrawals or transfers between accounts that the person cannot explain. Also, if there's a new best friend accompanying the person to the bank, that could be a sure sign. And also if there are suspicious signatures on checks or outright forgery. Also, I encourage you to talk about financial abuse to everyone you know. It's important for people to be aware of the scams that are out there. Customer service reps, bank employees, neighbors, friends, and family can all be resources to help stop fraud. And finally, trust your instincts. If something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. If someone is pressuring you to make a fast decision regarding your money, it's most likely a scam. If you would like to learn more about how to keep yourself and others safe, you can check out these websites. NCLR, the National Center on Law and Elder Rights, their website has trainings and lots of information. The DOJ's Office of Victims in Crime, their website talks about the activities that they conduct and how to report crimes. AARP has a fraud watch network, and you can get the latest information about frauds and scams there. And also the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. This website has a lot of tools and resources for you. Also, if you want to learn more about the Massachusetts Money Management Program, you can visit us at our website, massmmp.org, or email us at mmmpinfo@tves.org. If you or someone you know may benefit from the services we provide, or if you're looking for a meaningful volunteer opportunity, I encourage you to contact us to learn more. Since we are a statewide program, it's best to reach out to your local ASAP and talk to the money management staff there. If you are not sure who your local ASAP is, you can find out by visiting our website and then clicking on ASAP search. And you'll come to a screen where you can choose your city or town. Click on your city or town and then click search. And this will give you the contact information for your local ASAP. Then you can call them directly and ask to speak with the money management program. There are so many resources available to older adults across Massachusetts. So I just want to share a few with you. You might already know about them, but maybe you don't. If you or someone you know has been a victim of abuse, including financial abuse, you can call the numbers on the slide to report the abuse. Also, if you have been the victim of financial abuse, it's a good idea to report that with your local police department. In most cases, they can't recover the money, but they do keep a list of all instances of financial fraud. The Massachusetts Senior Medicare Patrol Program is a great resource if you have questions about healthcare errors, fraud, or abuse. They're very knowledgeable and they have lots of information. And also, like I said, local ASAPs are a great resource for information in your community. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me speak today. Enjoy the rest of the conference.